the emphasis on those last hundredths of a second, those last thousandths, is absolutely massive. And the pressure on all of these drivers huge as well, because we get it down to the business end of this championship now.
We certainly are, and the lineup for Redline looks absolutely sensational. Luke Bennett, of course, who's been successful in the ESL R1 Championship time and time again. Jeffrey Rietveld, who has been a sensation as well, bouncing back after not necessarily having the best of spring seasons, but having a great run here this time at Gamers8. But this time around, there you see the graphics. Qualifying is underway very shortly. As you can now see, we join now Sebastian Job, already twice a race winner here this evening, managing to pull across some splendid drives. Of course, when we got kick-started at Monza and the Nürburgring, after qualifying on pole in both circuits, he's going to try and chase a third pole position here tonight. Can he do it here at Hockenheimring? Well,
he get himself off to a great start here with a good lap in qualifying, and it's a wonderful first sector.
That's a whopping first sector.
Great first sector, 20.0 from Sebastian Job. Now, let's not get too excited now, because he could all slip away very, very quickly around this circuit, around any circuit. This is the shortest of them, though, and he's going to try and carry this one to the line. A 35.9 is what we're looking for as the absolute peak. If you can get below the 36s, you're surely on your way to the front row, if not pole position, by some distance. Sebastian Job looking to achieve that right now with comparatively little experience in Rennsport compared to some of the others. He's still as fast as ever. A 45.6 through the middle sector, I'm afraid, has just slipped a couple of those temps away, though.
Yeah, well, that first sector still might have just given him enough. It's still competitive, needs a huge sector 3 as well if he wants to try and enlarge the gap, certainly to the others across this grid order, though this being the first time on the board, the other drivers will then have to try and beat it. Round the final corner at Sud Curve at turn 16. Here comes Sebastian Job now, the Brit representing G2 Esports. He nestles in on 136.072. That final sector, very good as well.
He knows, though, that could have been better, shaking his head as he went over the line. Jeffrey Rietveld matching him pretty much in terms of times at the moment, but if he can pull something out of the back through the final sector, then he can put his BMW in front of Sebastian Job's as he makes his way towards the final few turns. Jeffrey Rietveld will be so key in taking Team Redline into finalist mode, but he won't be able to benefit from it. He'll have at least 2 races away from the rig here, looking to set his teammates up. Jeffrey Rietveld, a 36.0 and provisional pole.
He was on pole as well on the lead up to the Drivers' Championship, then took victory at this very track as well. Dane Warren also makes his way through the latter sector. A very, very good first sector as well. The second sector is also brilliant. Makes his way now in towards the final couple of bends. Can he possibly usurp Jeffrey Rietveld? Job is 57 thousandths back in second from the top. Here comes Dane Warren now. Comes across the line. Second fastest, a mere hundredth. In between, no, Warren's to the top. He's 100th on top.
He is. Jeffrey Rietveld just displaced by 100ths of a second, but Luke Bennett is here to try and take that away from Dane Warren just as quickly. The classic battle between Coanda and Redline bubbling to the surface once again here in the Teams Championship Finals. Luke Bennett makes his way out towards the line. This is going to be a good time as well. It's another 36.0. He nestles himself in third place.
I tell you what, Team Redline, second and third. The top 3 within 200ths of a second. Marko Pejic down in 5th place currently without a time set. And
slow down.
That looks like a slowdown. The Merc, unfortunately, is going to pay the price. And again, misery stricken upon the Mercedes AMG team. The Mercedes Esports team, who have been battling hard despite qualifying into the top 6 yesterday. They've now suffered here at Hockenheimring again today as they now cross. And certainly a 20.1 that was certainly very fast in the first sector. They lost it in the second sector, and then of course the third sector, which then encountered that slowdown. But Moritz Lerner up next.
Yeah, it was the Mobil 1 curve most likely where he ran that little bit too wide, and he's forced to slow that, take that slowdown, serve that slowdown over the next couple of corners. Moritz Lerner needs a performance here for Maus as well. Max Benneker has been doing his job, and Moritz Lerner did over the course of the spring season as well. The only driver from Maus to make it to the final 12. It's another 36.0, but unfortunately only 5th for Moritz Lerner.
The first sector was the issue there for Moritz Lerner, as Mitchell de Jong now makes his way around the final quarter in the stadium section as well. Really is struggling at this point too, currently at 45.6 in that middle sector, is 2/10 off where he would want to be on in terms of the threshold. First sector isn't bad at 20.2, but the third sector is all important. Will he join Dane Warren somewhere near the top? The final sector crucial as he crosses the line, 30.3, and that is better than the threshold indeed, but not enough to go any higher than 6.
No, the mistakes in the first and second sectors there have really put paid to that lap time for Mitchell de Jong, and all of a sudden it's slipping away for Porsche Coanda here. They'll need another couple of races before they can get to finalist mode, and that's if these next two go well. Isaac Price is in the final couple of corners because G2 are in a very similar situation. Sebastian Job would like some assistance from Isaac Price over the course of this race. Will he get it or not? No, not quite. It's only 6th for Isaac Price.
Yeah, currently 6th for Isaac Price at this stage for G2 Esports. Chinchik.
Slow down. It's sector 1 for Chinchik. It must have been at turn 1. And for the 3rd time today, for the 3rd time in 4 races, Marcel Chinchik's had a slowdown.
He has really suffered from it as well, RAG again. Certainly more misery in the grasp of them right now. Marcel Chinchik, the Hungarian, has certainly struggled here today. And once again, it's afflicted them here in the first sector. A 21.7 has usurped them. A 45.5 in the middle sector is just a 10th off competitiveness, but Max Benneker is up next. It's
not been the day for RIG Esports, has it? But it has been a good day for Mal so far, and it's largely down to this man. Maximilian Benneker has been absolutely wonderful this week. He won the $100,000 in the Drivers' Championship. Now he's trying to take 250k for Maus. He makes his way out of the final turn now and towards the line. It's going to be up in the zeros or the ones, I think it is, in the point zeros. Shakes his head because he's half a tenth away, but only 4th.
Take a look at that top 6, all within a 10th of a second. Then a bit more of a gap to Isaac Price, Yuri Toman, who's going to try and lift RAG's hopes back again, probably around where he wants to be in the first sector. The second sector, though, he is still there too, making his way around the final corner at Sud Curve. Can he lift himself higher and higher and higher? Needs it here at Hockenheim Ring as he crosses the line 5th fastest and goes ahead of Sebastian Job, just behind Maximilian Beneke, and the string of cars in the same 10th of a second stretches to 7.
Yeah, still 7 within the 10th, and James Baldwin right now might well be able to join them, although his sectors are maybe going to see him get a 0.1 here rather than that 36.0, which almost everybody else has been able to get so far. It's been a struggle for the Mercedes this week, unfortunately, after a great major in Munich. It's over the line for James Baldwin, and it is a respectable time. 7th place to give us 8 within 1/10 of a second.
That middle sector is what upsets him slightly, but still the first and third sectors were pretty good, but nevertheless, what a showing here from these grandiose talents. It's Porsche Coanda who are out on top, and they're going to celebrate with Dane Warren, who once again puts a shift in. The man with the stellar 1-lap pace, he's here again with Porsche Coanda on the rise. They're chasing, obviously, to get through to the top 6, or certainly try and get themselves into finalist mode. Let's take you through the grid. Marco Pejic starts from 12th place with Marcel Chinchik alongside him, still struggling for RAG. P10 going to that of Mitchell de Jong, of course his teammate going pole. Isaac Price in 9th. P8 goes to that of Moritz Lerner as well. James Baldwin in 7th place. Sebastian Job not quite pole this time, he's P6, with P5 going to that of Yuri Toman. 4th place goes to the Drivers' Champion Maximilian Benneker, with Luke Bennett there in 3rd place as well. On the front row, Jeffrey Rietveld continues his reasonable form around Hockenheim Ring with Dane Warren. He is your ALJ fastest man here in qualifying. It's Dane Warren for Porsche Coanda. He will surely celebrate in style. The big mission now on his charge is to take victory at this very circuit.
Yes, that's sometimes been the difficulty for Dane Warren, is converting that qualifying pace into race pace as well. That has been the problem on occasion. He's slipped away ever so slightly in some of these races. Let's hope not on this occasion. It's the Hockenheim Ring, of course, not necessarily a Porsche track through and through, but it's not a bad car around here by any means.
No, not at all. And as you can see, your ALJ fastest man is that fastest lap belonging to that of Dane Warren, the Porsche Carrera driver, now back to the top. And he will be absolutely thrilled with that. Now the mission, as I said before, let's convert it to a win. Of course, big points on the table. 25 would certainly take them closer to finalist mode. They're not quite there yet, though. They need 2 big stellar performances, though even if they were to both pick up maximum points, they would still need 1 more race to achieve that. So there's still a lot of work to do. But nonetheless, here at Hockenheim, as the drivers get set for a pre-race practice before then getting set onto the grid, already some argy-barginess heading through the latter sector.
Yeah, pre-race, oh dear me, that was going to be well, I'm glad that's not in the race, because that would have been penalty points and fisticuffs and all sorts. These are the Teams Championship standings, though, heading into this next race. Team Redline, by the way, needing 20, I'm sure you can do the maths at home, but I'll say it anyway. 23 points needed for Team Redline here. Mouse need 31. They're the only 2 teams that can reach the magic 150-point mark in this race. Yeah,
23 on the table for Redline. That is all they require. They've got 2 drivers here in the fight. Mouse as well, not far behind either. There's Dane Warren, alongside him, teammate and colleague Mitchell de Jong, as they all get set, ready to race. You can see practice has come to an end. Jeffrey Rietveld, who we're currently seeing on screen, also getting set for Team Redline. Again, what they can offer between him and Luke Bennett could yet position them in a position to challenge for the title in our next race after this one. So keep it with us, folks, as we await the lights to go red here at Hockenheim. Keep it with us. We're going to be in for a hellacious ride. 3 lights, 4 lights, and the 5th light. And it's pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. Dane Warren getting a lovely launch as well. The 2 Redline cars figuring in behind as well as they come through towards turn 1 and Nord Curve. There you can see them still together. Jeffrey Rietveld being joined by Luke Bennett. They come down now towards turns 2 and 3. Very shortly, soon to be turn 4. Up through goes the Mercedes. Oh, massive pile-up. A massive pile-up heading through turns 2, 3 and 4. And now a massive squabble over 3rd place.
And that was James Baldwin, who just got it too late on the brakes there and clattered into everybody. He'll be getting himself into trouble for that one, but it scattered the cars everywhere, including one of the red lines and one of the mouse cars. We could see nobody in finalist mode at the end of this if things stay as they are. Down in towards the hairpin they go. It's another big mess. Wide goes Isaac Price and Moritz Lerner this time.
Well, don't forget, Chinchik was right at the tail of the field. He's now battling for 3rd place. Can you believe it as well? Mitchell de Jong also skyrocketing upwards. Suddenly, the picture has changed now for Porsche Coanda. They can get as close as they can to finalist mode as we see them go side by side again, heading through the Mercedes section. And now, once again, we're seeing the G2 car of Isaac Price coming into contact with Moritz Lerner. Wheel to wheel they go, heading through now towards turn 11. What a move there by the mouse. Pounces up into 6th place for Moritz Lerner. Stellar drive.
And Lerner's going to have to do the heavy lifting here because he wasn't involved in that opening lap incident. He was able to benefit from it, but Max Benneker certainly was, and they need more points than this. At the moment, it's only 9 of the 31 that they need. Meanwhile, Team Redline are in a decent place. They're getting 24 of the 23 that they need. They're just about making it for now.
Yeah, they got plenty on the table, certainly with Lerner picking up some points as well. Rietveld picking up the plethora of them. 20 points currently sat for 2nd. Dane Warren on the cards for 25. Still plenty more time to be had, though. We're only on lap 2 of 10. As we go see Moritz Lerner now turning in towards that section of turns 2, 3, now 4 as well. Heading down now towards the Parabolica, through the in-swinger at turn 5, and he has got a queue of cars further up as well as they look to go nose to tail. Still, the gap's now starting to figure, though they are trying to get themselves down into some orderly fashion as well. Mitchell de Jong, though, 2.5 seconds off that of Jeffrey Rietveld, who still could yet get finalist mode by himself, as we're seeing wheel-to-wheel action again, as very defensive goes the RAG. Of course, Yuri Toman in the mix, as we're also seeing out of Marcel Chinchik, who has got Peichi behind, but this one, Job and Toman together again.
Yeah, they certainly are. They were both involved in that opening lap incident. So was Max Benneker, who's just in behind there. The bottom 4 you can see on your screen there were the 4 involved, as far as I can work out, in that incident down at turn 2. It just seemed to be James Baldwin getting offline there, looking to head down the inside. But once you're on the right-hand side going towards turn 2 there, you're sort of missing all of your braking markers that you normally have to your left. There's cars to your left, and so you can't quite see properly, and he's missed his braking point catastrophically, and it's really set the cat amongst the pigeons here in this race.
Yeah, carnage at the very start as well. Drama that we have come to expect here at ESL R1. The drivers may be feeling a little uncomfortable. We at home, though, or you at home, I should say, we in the commentary box cannot believe what we have just seen. It has been absolutely sensational as we see them cross the line yet again to commence lap 3 of 10. Dane Moran still leads the way. The gap now still staggered at 0.6 of a second. Jeffrey Rietveld quite happy and content. He is reining that gap in just steadily. Mitchell de Jong has maintained a 2.5 second gap with Chinchik now pressuring him. Of course, 0.6 away again. Equilateral between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 as we're now seeing them come out of turn 4 this time around as well. There you can see the mouse car, that of Moritz Lerner with Isaac Price giving chase as well. Enough points on the table here as well for Redline as we alluded to, though. Luke Bennett down in 8th place, losing out to Isaac Price.
Yeah, and he can't afford to lose many more places here. If he gets overtaken by Toman and Job, then he will not be getting the points needed for Team Redline, and that would force Jeffrey Rietveld to go for a move on Dane Warren out front at the moment. So he needs to stay where he is, just Luke Bennett, and that's exactly what will be on his mind. Just further up the front of the field, Isaac Price just in front of Bennett here is having a look at Moritz Lerner. He's staying close to him for the moment, but from third place, and Mitchell de Jong all the way on back to Max Benneker right at the back there in 11th place. It's all one long line. The leading two were able to get away as a result of that lap 1 crash.
Yeah, they certainly were. We're just looking on our screens now. Moritz Lerner still there in 6th place as he looks to try and chase after Marko Pejic. And this is, of course, a battle for the points that Mouse are going to require. As we now see them come together. Oh, sorry, not Pejic, I should say. My mistake, folks. Max Benneker we're currently looking at. P11 and Sebastian Job do apologise. Heading through the final sector, coming through towards turn 16 as they now round it, now heading down towards turn 1. Max Benneker after the incident at the very start. And imagine Adrian Fidalgo. We spoke about penalties heading into this specific race here at this point. I'd imagine there's going to be a hefty one now on the back of James Baldwin, as we now see further back as well. You can just see there a little bit of a battle here between Lerner and Price.
Yeah, he looked up the inside there, did Price, but didn't decide to go for it. Instead, waiting for the hairpin, and Moritz Lerner looks vulnerable here. I'm not sure that he's not backing everybody into Max Benneker here on purpose, because he needs the points that are worth more up inside the top 5, but right now doesn't really have the pace to hold where he is. Doesn't even defend from Isaac Price on the way in towards the hairpin. These two have already come together in this race, along with Yuri Toman. They got into each other in this very corner on that one, and it's a good move from Isaac Price this time.
Yeah, bringing Luke Bennett into the mix as well, but a fantastic move from Isaac Price to move up into 6th place, and just look at Bennett in behind them as well, as now Moritz Lerner is going to search for perhaps something special of his own, heading through the Mercedes Arena section. Luke Bennett as well, pushing and prodding in behind there, bringing in a contingent of cars, including that of Yuri Toman. Sebastian Job also in the mix too, as they look to make their way down through towards turn 11. Price now holding on to 6th place. The mouse in behind, though, that being Moritz Lerner, creeping and peeping as he makes his way in towards the next left. But keep your eyes peeled. Replay, though, here, Ewan, and this is the incident.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. Yeah, James Baldwin.
Very late.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't intend to do that, of course, but he's just really late on the brakes. Unfortunately, he pays the biggest price for all of that, but you'd think he's going to serve a penalty for it. This is on board with him, so everybody single files themselves out in towards turn 1, which tends to happen quite a lot here. He has a huge slide through turn 1, then forced on the defensive from Moritz Lerner, who's on the outside of him here, but then just gets it all wrong. He will have known very early that that was going wrong, and unfortunately has clattered into 4 other cars.
Yeah, big hefty crash there, and that of course has upset the balance, certainly for many of them, as we now see the replay again. This is from a near side camera view, and oh yes,
Bennett, who was clipped around.
You got to say he recovered massive. He recovered greatly in the way he did. Obviously, Redline need as many points as they can. They were at that point looking pretty much surefire favourites to secure the points they needed, and there you see the response. And Yuri Toman, less than impressed.
I hope you can't lip read at home, because I don't think that was for broadcast really. But anyway, I apologise for that.
Be a special game of catchphrase of that one for you. Yes. But nevertheless, back underway. Isaac Price, 1.5 seconds back now. I think he's more concerned about defending here.
He certainly is, and that's not the way you want to be really here, especially for Mouse at the moment. They need more points than this, way more points than this. They've only got 7 to their name at the moment. And not only are they not making finalist mode this time, but but they're making their job quite difficult for next race as well, when they could have Team Redline to worry about. At the moment, Redline have still got 24 of the 23 points that they need. Jeffrey looking fairly safe in second place, but staying close enough today, Warren, to be able to overtake him if he needs to.
And it would make sure as well of the points required to get through to finalist mode. So if Rietveld can make that crucial manoeuvre, obviously that would essentially bring them home and hose, but they are in good shape because they have, of course, got enough points being scored by Luke Bennett as it stands. Now they make their way in towards this next segment of curves. We're currently seeing the cars now whip through turn 1 at Nord Curve as well. There we see Isaac Price with a build-up of cars in behind, including that of Moritz Lerner and Luke Bennett, as they head down now towards turns 2, 3 and 4 for yet another time. We've still got a small matter of 5 laps still to remain if you include this one. They whip through turn 4 now. The in-swinger at turn 5 coming up next as the Mouse looks to pounce still. They're in behind the RAG. And of course Yuri Toman, who has certainly come under his own level of pressure. So now they hurtle down towards the hairpin bend, and now Toman looks to open up the door here.
Well, here we go. Luke Bennett might well just give this one over because he doesn't want to get freight trained by everybody. Although he is going to battle this one on the outside line through the hairpin. It's going to remain absolutely dead level here. Lerner giving the slipstream to Luke Bennett, probably to keep them side by side for a little bit longer. But Yuri Toman's exit off of the hairpin was fantastic, and so he's through for the moment and confirms that place into 8th, although a little bit wide again. Now he's got on the defensive from Bennett, who will have the wide entry, late apex, and a better exit as well. He'll look to the inside towards the number 1 curve, maybe, but deciding that's not a smart idea. And right now, Team Redline have exactly 23 points from this race.
They do, and this puts them in a very critical situation because in behind Sebastian Job is going to make Luke Bennett's life very, very difficult. This being the race that could yet send Redline into a position to challenge in finalist mode into the pits. A drive-through for James Baldwin, I believe. No, it's not, sorry. Marco Pajic with a drive-through.
Yeah, Marco Pajic. I couldn't tell you what it's for. It's a jump start normally, but it's 6 laps ago the start now, so I've no idea what that drive-through is for, and all of a sudden Mercedes Day's just going from bad to worse.
I tell you what, the reason I thought it was Baldwin, it might have been to do with the incident earlier on. Yeah. Obviously not, because Pajic is now in the box, and now 2 Mercedes are propping up the order. In comes Pajic down the pit straight, and they're all getting the same penalties. So
this is the rule that we were talking about yesterday, is that when you get a penalty for these kind of incidents in the race, it applies to the team, not only the driver. And so James Baldwin, you're right, the James Baldwin incident was the one at fault, and that's given a penalty to both Mercedes drivers as we're 3 wide in towards the hairpin. That's a humongous dive from Max Benneker, who gets into contact, and around goes Sebastian Job.
Sebastian Job picked up as well as Max Benneker, and now that's allowed Luke Bennett to pursue in clean air, and naturally at this point now in 8th place, leaves them with 4 points that he can now add to the list, and with Jeffrey Rietveld that equals 24, 1 more than required to manage to work their way into finalist mode. A great chance now for Redline to put their name on the team's championship. Confirmation in the top right as well of Marco Pajic serving the drive-through penalty, and that is due to the reckless driving involved in James Baldwin's crash earlier on. Both drivers, of course, serving the required penalties.
And Jeffrey Rietveld can just sit here comfortably now. He's been staying close enough today, Warren, just to make sure that he can overtake if he needs to. Now that he knows that pretty much it's guaranteed he doesn't need to, he can just sit there in second place and just stay in that position. But what a story this is for Team Redline. After nearly getting knocked out yesterday, it would have been a huge story for the spring season team's champions to be knocked out of the first group stage in the team's championship. They did make it to the finals, and now they're stamping their authority on it as well, getting into finalist mode after 6 races and having a chance to win $250,000 in race 7.
You can imagine the Team Redline boss now obviously saying to Jeffrey Rietveld, don't panic, just sit tight. You've got a 2.86 second gap, just hold position, take the 20. Of course, Luke Bennett also in clean air now. He's 2 seconds away from Yuri Toman, but crucially enough, 3.5 seconds away from Max Benneker. I'm sure Mouse are going to be a little disgruntled though, because they themselves needed 2 big performances from both cars in order to bring them close to finalist mode.
Yeah, Miles are in a bit of trouble at the moment. This is only 11 points from this race, so 20 would still be needed at the next one, which is not impossible by any means, but their driving lineup will change, of course, to be Yuri Kasdorp and Patrick Holtzman. Arguably not as strong of a lineup as Max Benneker and Moritz Lerner. So, yeah, Miles are going to have to wait a couple of races, unfortunately, to try and win this by the looks of it, as Marcel Cintic gets a free second time penalty. That's going to give Lerner another couple of points, maybe. He's about 2.7 behind Cintic at the moment.
Yeah, again, Cintic, of course, we saw the incident earlier on, a bit of a moment out wide, I think it was, between the RHE further back, but yes, a big major moment still. And as we now see the cars exit through the final corner, heading through towards turn 1, the Mouse now making its way around turn 1 yet again at Nord Curve. And in tandem, as we see Yuri Toman, of course, being forced off track with a 3-second. There you see the result there too, as we now see Yuri Toman on board, as he now looks to try and challenge yet again. Moritz Lerner to his outside as they head through towards turn 2. 3 as well coming up next, wheel to wheel still between the Mouse and Nat of the RHG, coming through towards the Parabolica at turn 5. The Mouse with the nose in front. Moritz Lerner still trying to beckon his way as he looks to give chase to Isaac Price. Yuri Toman, though, far from done as they venture through this next left-hander, still looking to try and pursue the move as they venture down towards the hairpin at turn 6. In comes now Toman round the inside. He's going to try and, well, certainly cover this off. He has done as well. Superb move there from Toman.
Well, I'm not sure why he's done it, though, because he's pretty much guaranteed to finish in 8th place with that 3-second time penalty. Of course, Toman didn't do the crime, but he will do the time here, and he'll get a 3-second penalty for Cincic's actions there. It has prevented Lerner from getting another couple of points, though, so Lerner will probably finish 6th here, and Toman probably 8th. Let's have a look at how it happened, though. Well, this is something different. This is the crash.
This is the crash we saw earlier.
Moments ago, yes.
Yeah, they came into the inside, a very, very late move on the brakes, and then, of course, during the re-entry, and the very car that actually made contact didn't get spun at all. Sebastian Job, unfortunately, coming unstuck, and that's not ideal. Down in 10th place, only 2 points to his name.
I'm not sure I would put any blame anywhere on that, really. It was a whole mess.
Yeah. I think you could argue the re-entry was perhaps a bit zealous. There was obviously some issues with him late braking there. I think Max Benneker, as now we see them heading towards turn 1. Of course, ahead of him now, he's got a bit of a factor of that being Luke Bennett and Moritz Lerner. Of course, the gap's still quite vast. As we now take a look at the sharp end now, Marcel Cintic half a second in behind Mitchell de Jong, and in behind those two, of course, we have the mouse car belonging to that of Moritz Lerner, just in behind that of Yuri Toman. Isaac Price just ahead too, as we now see them make their way around Parabolica.
Yeah, Yuri Toman's been very quick in this race, actually, but has just received, obviously, penalties and too many incidents as well, as Jeffrey Repo looks to the inside of Dane Warren. And the only benefit he would have from this, of course, is preventing Coanda from getting the, what would be, 41 points at the moment. That would get them alarmingly close to finalist mode as well, as it's free wide almost in the background at this moment as well. Jeffrey Repo looking for the lead of Dane Warren, just to inconvenience Porsche Coanda more than help his own race.
Oh. And we've got it coming together too, of course, with Toman and Price as they make their way through Mercedes Arena. Toman deciding now to head down the inside, trying to paint a better picture of obviously what they've suffered here at this point. They're now doing battle, heading through towards the final sector, heading through now towards turn 11, still inside line for Toman, and he's not going to be fought because Price has forgotten the position. Now down to P6 as Toman holds on to it, but Dane Warren, a stellar drive, and he's going to convert a pole yet again to a race win. He's already done it once over the course of this championship, certainly in the Drivers' Championship. He's going to cross the line here in Hockenheimring and do it again on the run-up to the end of the Team's Championship. It is, of course, going to be Dane Warren. He takes victory here, but the crucial story, Team Redline doing enough to get finalist mode.
And they'll have finalist mode on their own as well. A chance to win $250,000 with no pressure from those around them. It sounds like that anyway. It's not going to be the case because there'll be 10 other drivers hoping that they really don't win. And in that situation, if that was in the last race, there would have been a huge fight between Dane Warren and Jeffrey Ritveld. One searching for the points to get towards finalist mode, which Porsche Coanda are quite near to now, and one looking for the overall win before anyone else could get there.
Yeah, so it's going to be a change over now. Of course, now we'll have the other drivers stepping into the car. Kevin Siggy will be the next one to step in, as well alongside his teammate too, as well. As time goes on, we'll certainly see the likes of them come together. Enzo Benito will join Kevin Siggy when they swap over to try and battle for the title. And this is a replay of all the incidents here. Ewan, take us through it.
Yeah, this is James Baldwin breaking a bit too late in towards turn 2, which clips Luke Bennett into a spin. Yuri Toman, Max Benneker and Sebastian Job also caught up in this, as Baldwin just lost track of his braking markers a little bit there on the right-hand side of the road, clattering into everybody else and causing chaos in the field. This allowed the top 2 to get away, Dane Warren and Jeffrey Rietveld, while everybody behind was forced to fight for third.
Yeah, it certainly was a high-impact incident. Naturally, James Baldwin already having a rough day, and we saw it all come together. We're taking a view here from the rear of a car as well. That, of course, being, I think, Luke Bennett's car. We just saw a rear view of James Baldwin's response was very clear. Yuri Toman's perhaps even clearer, yelling away, saying, that's not right. And naturally now, Max Benneker also giving the same response, the look of disappointment on his face. Mouse, of course, also chasing finalist mode. Luke Bennett was the one driver to survive that scrap and managed to achieve enough points to obviously put towards his campaign as they reach finalist mode. We had another 3-wide scrap as well. Benneker just out-braking, heading in towards the hairpin bend as well. Obviously, they're going to have to live to fight another day in order to battle for finalist mode. But we're going to have an interview now. We're going to head over to the studio and Barney.
Dane Warren, you got to stop being so good, mate. How was that race? You seem, you seem damp. I'll just say that. But yeah, how was it for you, buddy?
Very stressful.
Yeah.
Like extremely stressful. Jeff was putting up a pretty good fight the entire race. Like, yeah, had me on the edge of the seat the entire time. So really happy to come away with it. Mitchell in P3 is crazy. I don't know what happened at the start, but that's really good for the team.
فعلا سألنا المتسابق معنا دين وورن نبغى نعرف في السباق هذا كيف كان فقام قال انه من جد ما زال السباق الجاي الحين ما زال تحت ضغط مره كبير السباق الماضي زي ما شفناه كان حاد جدا وخصوصا ان جيفري كان وراه وادوا اداء مره ممتاز يكفي عشان يقدرون ينتقلون معنا لهذا المود.
Well, I can now tell you that you guys have pumped up the numbers for sure once again in great fashion, by the way, once again. But Team Redline have now entered finalist mode. So how you planning on playing catch up, and what's the comms going to be like between you guys to try and get everyone like revved up for the next few races to come?
I have no idea. This is the first time I've sort of been in this position, so yeah, I don't know. It's all about just getting the results that we need and keeping the Redline guys out of a win. So I don't know how that's going to work. Looking forward to seeing what happens.
صحيح في موقف مره مهم اللي راح يكون معنا في السباق القادم نبغى نعرف من الفريق شلون راح يقدرون يتعاملون بالفوز لان ما زالوا حققوا نقاط مره كثيره قريبين انهم يدخلون في الفاينلست مود لكن عندنا فريق اللي هو فريق ريد لاين دخل برضو بالفاينلست مود بكيف يحافظون هم على الفوز. ذكر المتسابق معنا ان صحيح بيحاولون انهم يقفلون عليهم ما يخلونهم انهم يفوزون عشان يقدرون يحصلون نقاط برضو هم اكثر ويدخلون بالفاينلست مود ويلحقونهم فيها.
Keep the Redline guys out of a win. Okay, well, I have a sneaky suspicion that if one person can do it, it's that dude over there that I just see who's skulking away over there in the corner. But nevertheless, let's go back over to the desk to break everything down, and we'll continue Team Championship Finals because it's starting to heat up.
بالضبط الحين ما زال عندنا المسابقات الجايه ممكن السباق الجاي ممكن يكون اخر سباق معنا ما نعرف لان فيها تفاصيل كثيره. خلينا نرجع للاستديو نشوف تفاصيلها ونرجع لكم فيها.